Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is ZakharValaha. I'll be teaching you how to create a text animation in Blender, just like the one you are watching right now on your screen. So I'll be using geometry nodes, and this is a simple animation. It's just using cameras to make some changes. So let's get started. So I created a text and rotated it 90 degrees to face the front view and change the text to April. And I also changed the font of the text. I used French script MT regular. I think it comes with Windows. So if it doesn't come with it, French, I'll put the name right here so you can get it. I think it comes with it. So I created a geometry node and search for instance or point node, in which I used UV sphere as the instances. So it's going to create instances all over the points on the text, on our text. So what I used, you can see you can adjust the bevel or the extrude from the curve settings, curve properties. So that was what I used for the animation. So I added a camera, an orthographic camera, and I changed the size to 1080 by 1080, and this is just me setting my AV. And so I added an HDRI, which I downloaded from HDRI even. I'll put the link in this description so you can get the same HDRI. So I added a plane to serve as a background. I rotated it 90 degrees, and I also created a shader for it. I called it background blue. So I just changed the color. That's all I did, and you can choose any color if you like. I also edited the plane by extruding it below and creating a bevel by pressing Ctrl B, and I scaled it. I made it very wide and very tall so that by the time you're animating it, you won't have to see other things that are not in the scene. So I'm creating a new material for our sphere. So I'm using a principal BSDF. I created a color ramp, and now I'll be using a noise texture just to give us a kind of random colors on the text. And I use the object info and I input the random into the vector of our noise texture. So now I'm inserting my set material node so that the material can be visible on our text, on our spheres, which we use as instances. So what I will do is change my color ramp to constant from linear, and also change the colors to the colors I want, and also add some points to the color ramp. And I'm just changing the colors to the colors I want. You can change it to any color you wish. So you will see these colors are quite brighter than the ones I use in my animation. I just decided to do this, but they are similar colors, and the file will be in the description so you can check the file out. You can look at it and access it yourself. So this is basically it, just creating the material like that. And I added point light at the top of the text, and I changed it to 50 watts, and also increased the radius. So I duplicated the point light and place it below. I also changed the noise texture to 4D so that you can adjust the time, which is the W. I changed my time to 122. You can adjust it anyhow you feel like, anyhow that suits you. So all I did for this animation was adjusting the bevel, the depths of the bevel, and that was what I used. That was what I added keyframe to. I added a shade smooth node to our geometry node, so that all the spheres will be shaded smoothly. So all I did was animated the depth, and you could see. So now I'm setting up my camera, the second camera that comes in from the side, and I'm creating another camera. This one will be the one that comes from the top. So all I'm doing is just adjusting my cameras, and that's all I did. So now I'm creating a keyframe from the beginning to the end. That's all I did. Just adjusted the keyframe from 0 to where it spreads out to where I like it, and so that's all I'm doing, and it's quite easy. So I also changed the word strength to 2, from 1 to 2, to have a much brighter look. And I also don't forget to turn on the contact shadows on your light, because I'm using EV. I use the EV for this animation. So now I just want to show you this. I added a delete geometry. This was me testing out different methods just to see how it will actually look like, and I used a map range and noise texture to drive the revealing of the spheres, to just have something different. You can try anything different with the nodes. So but I didn't later use it. I went along with my normal setup, and it's pretty easy. So you could see you can change the scale of the noise texture, the detail. It's very procedural. You can change it, and you can edit it later on, just to give you something you're looking for. So all I did was animated the camera also. The first camera, the octographic camera, I animated it like creating a kind of dolly movement, and also I also animated the depth of field. I added a keyframe to the focused instance. So I adjusted it the way I wanted it to be. So you can actually slow that part down and see the values I used. And also I had to make sure the camera was very close, so that the depth of field will actually, you understand, when it's zooming out, when it's moving out, then depth of field will actually have a kind of effect. So that's what I was looking for. And I also added some depth of field along the way also. So all I did was, now I just want to composite my render. So I went to the compositing tab. So the first thing I added was a color balance node to change my color balance, just inform, or should I say, to color grade it. So I changed it to something much more yellowish. So that's what I did. Then I added a bright and contrast node, just to adjust the brightness and contrast of the render. So I adjusted it till I liked it. Yeah. So now I also created a vignette, and I used an ellipse mask node, and you could see how I'm just trying to create it. And I used a blur node. So I put our ellipse mask into the image, and you could see how it looks like. So this is just me trying to, it depends on your resolution. That's how you are going to work with this. So you are going to change it based on that, and that's what I did here. And I also had a mix node. So this, I'll be mixing our render with the vignette and change the mix to multiply. Make sure your render input from the brightness and contrast comes to the first image input, and your vignette to the second input, so that you can have a vignette around your render and not the other way around. I rendered mine PNG sequences, but you can change your own to MP4, and that's what I was showing there. And also I had to trim it and place them the way I wanted it to be in DaVinci Resolve. So that's all I did. It was just that same frame from different views. I just cut it and joined them together, and that's how I got my results. And thank you for watching. Please, if you like this video, kindly like and subscribe. Thank you very much. See you later.